Have you had student loans for a long time? And maybe you've thought about how nice it would be to not have to pay any additional on your student loans or to get rid of them. Are you one of these 46 million people who has over $1.7 trillion worth of student loans? Well, what if you could use cryptocurrency? In this example, we're going to use HEX to pay off your student loans in 1 to 2 years. I put together an example here using my student loans so that you could take this as a template, see if it makes sense to you, and run it for yourself. Because we have something interesting going on. With the current the current administration, we have the extension of student loans. According to my student loan portal, it says until March basically of 2023. So that means we are currently in mid-April, and I wouldn't have a payment to make for nearly a year. So I could pay that down during this time, or I could use that money to invest into cryptocurrency that earns, it's not going to earn 38%, but it's going to earn above what my interest rate is on my loans, so that in a year, that money coming out is greater than the payment. We put all this together for you in a nice little spreadsheet that we're going to run through in 2 separate examples to pay your shit off in a short amount of time or to pay it off in a less than 2 years. So with that being said, if this is your first time here, what's good? My name is Sam, and for those of you who are returning, it's good to freaking see you. By the way, if you are returning and you're not subscribed, what is wrong with you? Look at the information we're going over here. Nobody else is talking about this shit. Come on, brother. Okay, so this is from Student Loan Hero. Let's get into this video. We're going to go through some data here, and then we're going to get into the spreadsheet in a moment. Right? And we're going to use the data, as we mentioned, from my my student loan portal. So this is just statistics around student loan data. There's 46 million Americans with student loan debt, right? So anybody with just a modicum of common sense, so that's just a small amount for those people who didn't learn what the word modicum means at school because school is a fucking joke. There is a tremendous issue that just continues to fester in the background as more people are straddled with debt. And it's like, oh, it's a system. No, it's not. It's the stupid fuckers who continue to put on debt when they don't know what they're doing. So, what if we could go through and start solving this issue with crypto through education, because education is the thing that's broken, not student loans. We see this, right? Mitch McConnell slams Biden student loan payment pause extension. So there, it says in several of these things that there's an extension, here we go, until the August 31st, right? And this is a week ago, extends until August 31st of this year, 2022. However, I was like, let me check mine, right? So this is my portal. And you can't see behind me, but my payment on a monthly basis is $1,075. But we see right here that I don't have to make a payment for almost a year into the future. So what if I took that $1,075 and I invested it into HEX, right? Excuse me. And then I staked that to a future date. And I did that every month until February 28th of 2023, right? Well, that is what we put together here in this example. This is my payment here of $1,072.04, right? And this is the estimated fees. So if we come over here, GWEI as of this morning, like gas on either scan, is less than $20, right? And we figure we have 4 fees here. We have Coinbase fee, which was probably less than $20 for $1,000. We have to MetaMask, right? Because you got 4 steps involved. You got to go Coinbase to get $1,000 in there. You got to go to MetaMask, right? So that's going to be a fee. Then you've got to go to a DEX, right? Uniswap, and transfer that to HEX, right? You're going to get. I'll walk through the steps in a moment, and then you're going to stake that, right? So you have 4 fees. So that's where this comes in. It's all currently less than $20, but obviously this is going to vary. I'll highlight the assumptions here in a moment. And the steps are going to be like, either buying all ETH and then taking the ETH to put onto MetaMask, then to going to the DEX and exchanging most of that to HEX, or something along those lines. If you're not sure how to do those steps, you can hit me up on Twitter. I can help walk you through this, exactly how to do this. But if you're not sure how to do the steps that I just mentioned, right? Like Coinbase to MetaMask to DEX to hex.com to stake your shit. It might be a good indicator it's not ready for you. Like, right? Like, if you don't know how to do this, you can learn 100%, but this is not like a financial advice. This is just like how I'm thinking about it for myself. And I figured that this might be unique, that not a lot of other people, so I'm going to share this. Okay. So they take this, $1,000. There's $80 in fees. That's going to give you about $8,400, 8,462 HEX approximately. That's today's price of 11 cents. That's what we have over here. Now, clearly, these other ones here are all going to be different. The fees are going to be different. The HEX is going to be different, right? These are going to all vary. Now, to handle this, right? Like, what if we come over here and this is, instead of $17, it's, $174, 100% possible. Well, then what one could do is take this $172 and roll this to the second month. So you're putting this out, right? So now you have $2,150 roughly, or something like that, in month number 2, and just pay attention to the fees, or just hold on to the cash until you see this, or check in the middle of the night, right? You can see when fees are going to be cheap and do it at the times when the fees are going to be the cheapest, so that maybe this you can get done for $60, right? And you get another $20 a HEX, right? Because it's going to help amplify the returns. But you get the idea of what we're talking about right here, okay? And remember, the fees are going to change, but also the price is going to change. So we held it constant here because we have no idea what the future value of HEX is going to be. Right? Like, I am bullish. I do believe that the price is going to be higher, but I don't know at what point that is going to happen. It could go down further than what it is right now, right? So what do we do with this stake? Like, so we take $1,000, right? And we're going to go through that sequence of those 4 steps to go through and stake it. So now what do we do? Well, this is where we have 2 options. So we're going to run through the first option, and then we're going to get into this one right here. So in the first option, first scenario here, we're going to stake it for when we have the payments due in a year from now, right? And you can see here that this is next payment due on, March, basically the end of February, right? Where I put down here the end of March, right? So there's a payment overlap, so you're gonna have to make that payment. Like, this should have just been $228, right? But you get the idea behind the semantics of this. Now, if you go to, this is hexcalc.net, you can get a estimate based upon, right, the 8,400 hex. This is for the second example, and you put in the number of days you're going to do it for, right? So you're going to come out with 9,400 hex. And remember, like, these ones here are going to be different, and obviously this 9,400 is a estimate too, because if there's late fees, if people if people end stake, emergency end stake, if people don't end stake and there's a penalty on there, then these numbers here can actually be higher, right, than this number. So as the ecosystem of HEX continues to grow, there's going to be more and more people who lose their keys, and never end stake. So then there's a 1% penalty per week after week 2, and that's going to be going to these people, right? And as long as you use this and you're disciplined, then you can collect those fees that other people are paying from their own stupidity. And there's also going to be people, there's also going to be another set of fees in here from people who put in a very, very small amount, and because the fee on Ethereum is so high at the time that they can't take it out, right? This is $1,000, so a $20 fee is, it's part of the deal. Like, it's just like, oh man, that sucks, but it's still doable. But if somebody had, a smaller amount in there, they wouldn't be able to take that out, right? People were saving a couple bucks at a time, like $1 or $2 a year and a half ago, right? So if you're not able to get that out because the amount's so high relative to the fees, then those are going to be left as an unstake or end stake, and they're going to be given out to people here. So this number could easily be higher than that. But the fun part is, what do we think hypothetically the price might be in a year from today, roughly? Not quite 11 months, right? Well, if we assume that the price stays exactly the same, and remember, I didn't pull up the Nomics website, but I can. What if we take a look at the HEX chart real quick here? We see that HEX is at 11 cents right now. And what if we went to all time, or just maybe the past year? Give it just a second to load. Let's zoom in some here. Okay, so remember the top here was around 56 cents, right? So we have 56 cents down to 11 cents. Divided by 56, right? So we have an 80% drop. We have an 80% drop in the price of HEX. So if you were doing this and the price was 56 cents, and that was also the price of the all-time high, this is going to have more risk, right? Do you think that there's going to be another 80% drop below 11 cents? I mean, it's possible, 100% possible, right? And what do you do in that case? Nothing. You can just hold on HEX, right? Restake your HEX, add more to it at that point, right? And then just pay the bill. Or if this comes down and say it's 3 cents, right? Say it's a massive drop off, and it's 3 cents, right? Because think about the alternative. This $1,000, right? For most people, right? Hopefully you're more intelligent than this because you're watching this, right? But the $1,000, as in today's dollars, you're probably gonna go spend it on something stupid, right? That you don't need or like anything like that. So what if you just invested that? Then this money in the future is kind of like free money, so to speak, because you already took care of it in the past. So if in that future date, it's only after everything, it's only worth $284, cool. You can put that as an extra payment and just make the total payment, right? Or maybe it's 25 cents, right? And then you have $2,000, $2,300, right? Towards your bill at that time. Or maybe it's the same throughout this whole time period, and towards the end of the year, it's $1.50, right? For 2 months in a row, it's $1.50. You get $14,000, depending on the size of your student loans. Right? And that means that these periods here are probably going to be, 50 cents or 75 cents or whatever the case is, right? So this is 40. This aggregation here is going to be $43,000. So if you have less than $43,000, your shit is completely paid off in 1 year just from these payments here. Just from 11 payments, you were able to pay off your stuff completely. Pretty astonishing, right? Wait until you look at scenario number 2. So scenario number 2, same idea, same exact idea, right? We're doing the same exact thing over the next 11 months, but now we're taking this and we're putting this out to here. So this is out to 2024, right? So this is going to be about 2 years, right, into the future. We'll get more interest, and one of the cool things about the interest here is that the interest on the student loans is lower than the interest on HEX over those 2 years. So there's something called arbitrage, right? So you effectively are borrowing money at a low rate, and then you're taking the borrowed money and you're earning a higher rate, and you get the delta. The delta just means a change in something. So if you borrow money, if you borrow $10,000 and you the cost on that is 5%, right? So then you $10,000, you have to pay $500 to borrow that for a year, right? So you have to pay $10,500 at the end of the year. Now, if you took that $10,000 and you invested it in something that earns 20% on that money, at the end of the year you're at $12,000. You have $12,000, right? So you got to pay back the $10,000, and then you got to pay back $500. So you're left with $1,500 profit using other people's money. That's kind of the idea of this. But you just have this like multiplicative effect when we look at the stock price or the share price. So same thing, right? However, this is 10,700 HEX we would have at this date here, right? And then we would just do the same thing. So now in May, when we go to make that payment, we move it out to March. In June, we put it out to April, right? July out to May, etc. We do this process through the next 11 months, so we have all of these out in the future state. Now, these are coming due in the future. Now it becomes even more fun, right? Because we have no idea what the price could be in 3 months or 6 months. It could be way lower than 11 cents, right? It's possible, and maybe it's 5 cents. I don't know. Do I think it's probable? Very low, very unlikely, right? Well, what if in 2 years, say this is 30 cents throughout the entire year, right? And then it goes to 50 cents, and then it's at 75 cents, and then say it's at 90 cents, and by the end of the year, we get to a scenario where it's $2.25. Then that means, and these are not, in my opinion, I don't think these are absolutely crazy numbers. But you can't see this because it's below my head, but that's $90,000. So if you have student loans that are less than $90,000, then what you effectively did is you put in 12 grand right here to pay off your $90,000 in 24 months. Think about this for a second. This is crazy, right? And it could be possible that in 2 years these numbers, let's go back through and start over, right? What if these numbers are already at $1 at this point, right? And I don't know why this one's not, this is calculated on something else. Yeah, excuse me. So the number would actually be closer to 100 grand than that last one, and then it gets to $3 by the second half of the year. You just took 12 grand that you could put towards your debt, right? So your debt is, say, 50 grand, and you take $12,000 off of that, and you're with $38,000, right? And then on that 12th month, you pay another $1,000, and now you're down to 36,000, and change. But if you took that 11,000 and you invested into HEX, now in 2 years from today, where more than likely a lot of people would, just either put this towards the debt or spend it on stupid shit and not put anything towards the future, right? But if they put it into HEX, and in this scenario you have 5 months of $1 and 6 or 7 months here, 6 months probably of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 months of $3, right? And obviously these are super hypothetical. We have no idea, but it is 2 years away. Look at what's happened over the last 2 years, right? HEX has gone from nothing to where it is today. People have made millions of dollars. I'm not saying this is exactly going to be the case in the future. I have no fucking idea. But it's going to be you paying off your debt, or you taking that and investing in it, or you taking that money and wasting it, right? Are you going to waste it on dumbass shit that you don't fucking need, going out to dinner and other shit? You could invest it, or you could just use it to pay down your debt. In this scenario, if these numbers were in the realm of where it is at that point, that's $250,000. 250 grand. So if your student loans are 50, you made $200,000 on your $12,000 investment. Think about this for a second, guys. This is very powerful stuff. And if you find this information powerful, take a second to share this video with somebody else who has student loans, so we can get more people educated. Remember, the student loans are not the problem. The education is the fucking problem. So share this with somebody else. If you know somebody else who has student loans, your partner, your wife, share this video with them so we can start educating more people. By the way, I'm not saying you should do this, right? This is how I'm thinking about it for myself. And none of the videos on this channel or my other channel you can check out, and it's related to fitness. It'll be up here in a minute. I'm not saying you should do any of the things that I do in fitness or any of the things that I do financially or business-wise. I'm just giving you information on how I like to think about things. So if you find that helpful, cool. If you don't, cool. But if you do find it helpful and you want to support the channel, you can check out some links down below. You got Twitter over there. I should have a Telegram in there soon, so you can get more intimate conversations and whatnot. And a Instagram. So check those out if you find it interesting, and share this video with somebody else trying to grow the channel, trying to spread more information and more different points of view on the things that are possible. Financial literacy is not a end destination. It's a journey that just never stops. So hopefully this is helpful. I appreciate you guys. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know what your thoughts are, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace.